So what we've done, I've got here this morning, that plan there, and I went into the showroom, says to him, do I need to know anything? He said, no Mickey, you don't need to know anything. Everything's alright, just unit, sink unit, toilet, bath. This is after I've been in and already swapped it a couple of weeks ago, because they sold them integrated shower, integrated tap. You can't have that. You can't have that on a breeze wall. That wall's only 2.5 inch thick. On an integrated shower, you need 100mm minimum. 100mm and a nice big square space. You can't put them in a breeze wall. Why they keep selling them for breeze walls, I just do not know, because you can't do it. So I've already changed them. Then I go get a plan off him. No, it's alright. Plan show, just normal unit, toilet. Come today. Lady says it's a wall hung. So we've had a look, got it out. It's a wall hung. Wall hung has to go in the wall. I'd already been in and told them it's an internal stack, you can't do that. Because there's an extension on the other side there, so you can't just put waste through the wall. Now if that would have been brick, you want it chiselled into a brick. No chance. So we would have ended up with a boxing in up there, underneath the sink, and then the floating unit on top. But the moral of the story is, when I'm a fitter, I go into the showroom and I tell the showroom person, whoever it is, what my customer can have. Then my customer goes in, the showroom managers, all they see is green shoots. Green shoots, it's just like lights up in their eyes. You see green shoots and then they flog them, whatever the customer says. The customer says, oh, I like that. You say, oh yeah, you can have that. They can't have it. Fitter's already been in and told you they can't have it. Why sell them it? Say, well, customer's always right. The customer's not always right. In a bathroom, they're trusting you to fit that bathroom and fit it properly. So you go in, take your time to go in, look, to see what they can have. Go in, tell the showroom, they can have this, they can have that, they can't have this, they can't have that. Then the customer goes in, showroom says, oh yeah, you can just have all. You can't have all. It's not rocket science, is it, kids? Do you know what I mean? Start using your brain. That's all you have to do. Brain. It's just a bit of brain power. If a fitter tells you that you can't fit somewhere, don't sell it to the customer. Because when you're selling it to the customer, all we're doing is coming back in and swapping it and changing it and then holding job up. Do you know what I mean? Like integrated showers, 100mm space. If they haven't got a stud wall, don't sell them it. Because they should be going in a brick wall. And I don't know anybody who puts them in a brick wall. So ask the customer, ask the fitter. If the fitter says you can't have something, don't sell them something just because the customer wants it. Because at the end of the day, it's not the customer who fits it and warrants it. It's the fitter. And if the fitter's already spoke to you and told you they can't have this, they can't have that, it's no good selling them it, is it? So now what I've had to do, because I didn't know, and I've been in and asked, spitting feathers. Spitting feathers on. So I've had to all my pipe work. I've had to cut my floor up. This is how I cut my floor up. Did you see how I glued this floor? But because I'm a bit of a masterpiece. See how nice that wall's cut out? Just cut it out like that. I'm going to dropless joist in there. Luckily it's a breeze wall, so I've chiselled it out. I'm going to come up there and then I'm going to come out. And then we'll fill that in and box it in. Same with his pipe work, in and out. But it's just annoying when you've gone in so many times and they just sell them all to one. Just sell them all to one. Why don't they just try selling them what the fitter says that they can have? There's millions of products out there what you can have. I told him they need to be floor stud. That's not floor stud, is it? It's an internal waste stack. You can't go through the wall into the waste. You have to do this. Now, granted, I've done it, but if it would have been a brick wall, I wouldn't have done it. We would have had to come up there and we would have had boxing in. So you might as well just got floor standard, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? More of the story. So now I've got my waist, I've cut that in. I'm going to use the height for that floor, so I'm not cutting into that joist anymore. And then I'm going to go into the wall, come out, bish bash bosh, put that back on, put another batten from there to there, cut it on that batten, cut it on that batten, cut it on that batten, cut a bigger hole out than what you need, because then that makes that board sturdier. Top tip from MJC Kitchens and Bathrooms. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like. Thank you for watching. When we're doing this, just make sure that you file the inside. When you're doing solvent weld, you don't want to leave any edges on, because all the crap will just collect on it and block it. So make sure that you file it nice on the inside after you've cut it off. Because if you don't use one of them and you use your multi-tool to get in, cut it nice and flat, so we're on that joist, so we're not cutting too much of that joist out, we're going to be there, just above it. File the inside edge, like that. Then rub your finger around it, make sure there's no lips on it. Now it's good to glue. And what I do with this is I position it all up first. So cut all your pipe work, position it all up, all dry first, then glue it, bang it in. Because if you try to glue it and you get it wrong, you can't take it back out. So I always do that. That's it. So I put a batten in there, screwed it in.
Right, so bring them round. Well, you don't even know your own,
Using my PU7, straight around sides there, straight around edges. Drop it in, squash it down, and then we'll just whack a couple of screws in there. And now, watch the floor lead. You can see, because I put that joist down, floor's not moving. I've got my shoes off to save my feet. Beautiful. Now we're going to run the pipe straight along there, 2 pipes up there, and I stick that in the wall there like that, and there we go, floating sink. That do. So we've got all this pipe work behind the wall, in line with the wall. Luckily we had these dotted off enough so we hadn't had to chisel any of the breeze out. Now what I'm going to use is my mega foam. I'm going to foam all that in, cut it off, foam all that in, cut it off flat, tile can tile it. Took them pieces out underneath bath, so we've got 1 piece of pipe from there into that fitting. So there's no chance of vault going wrong in there. Because when we tile this back panel in, we're never going to get to vault. So you've got to make sure whatever you've done underneath there, don't do any compression or all that. Because over time, with jerking and stuff like that, stuff leaks. It's proven to leak. So this is a good thing about plastic. I didn't bother teeing it there because it would have sat forward and we need it flush. So I brought it into the toilet. This is going to be a toilet unit back to a wall. So there, you'll just cut tile around that. You'll never see it. Unit's going to go in front of it. Then the toilet will push up to it. Isolator on it for the system which is inside the unit, which is going to be here. So all that's done. All that's done. Now we just need to foam it up, and it'll be lovely. See, that's what my Mega Stick does. Now you just let that dry up. We dry in an hour. We cut it off. And then it's all filled up, nice and cosy, nice and warm, beautiful. When I'm putting a floor down and I'm tiling it, I'll use 1 or 2 foams. I'll either use a PU700 for this flat floor. I'll use that to stick this jackerboard down. If this floor with the other floor, the floorboards, I'd use the Mega Stick, because the Mega Stick expands and then it sticks. So they're both adhesive, both of them are foam adhesive, but the Mega Stick one will expand a little bit. Don't expand a load, but it expands enough. This stuff, it foams on, it looks like it's expanding, and then it breaks down, and then it's more like an Evo glue. So on a flat floor, I use the PU700 with my jackerboard. I always use a 10mm jackerboard and one of them glues to glue it down. And then this is vital, because the glue's not holding the board down, the glue's just an added bonus. But if you do this combined, these boards will never ever move. The floor will never ever crack. I've never had one crack in 20 years, and that's proof. I only can go by facts. I've been using that for at least 15 years, I think. And I've been using foam since I started, over 20 years. So people don't know about it, and they should educate themselves about it, because once you start using this stuff, you're never ever going to go back to all in a tube, because it's just unbelievable. It's quick fire, bish bash bosh, done. I did a demo with this stuff on my TikTok channel, and I could not pull it apart. I tested, this is a new product, this what I'm using, the PU700. That, and I've used many moons. But listen, so before I used it on anything, I tested it. Went down to my lockup, did a test on it, and I could not split the wood. I could not take the jackerboard off a plasterboard. I couldn't take it off the wall. I couldn't take it off a tile. I physically couldn't take it off. It ripped the board in two before it pulled apart. That's how good it is. So, it's, in my opinion, it's better than the adhesive what you put down and stick the board to. Because the adhesive what you put down, sometimes it can not adhere to the floor. And you've seen it when I'm knocking tiles up, how the adhesive just comes off the floor. Same as this one. This stuff will never come off the floor. Once you stick that board down to this floor, it's stuck. Then you screw them. Every 300, on a 6x1200 board here, what they like you to do is screw them every 300. Now on the Marmax boards, that's all they do, screw them down every 300. We're gluing it, screwing it, belts and braces, this floor will never ever move. But for it not to move, the house has to not move. Now if the floor's really bouncy, this is going to help it, but you've still got a chance of a crack. So there's only so much you can do, do you know what I mean? When you're on job, there's only so much you can do. If the floor is very bouncy, it may crack, but doing this, you're limiting the chance of the floor cracking, the grout cracking, and everything else cracking. But if the floor is too bouncy, I would always put a different floor in. You don't have to tile it. There's loads of products on market now. That click flooring for bathrooms, the plastic PVC one, it's mega stuff. Multi-panel boards, mega stuff. You can use that. If your floor's a bit dodgy, you'd be better off using that than tiling it. But if it's alright, sturdy, we've made this sturdy, this floor's solid, stick his jackerboard down, I'm going to use my PU700, stick it down, we'll never have an issue. That'll do.